Hello, I'm Infinite. I'm a Gold ADC player, and what I want to try to do today, our goal is going to be to review our own games, but I'm going to give this more from the inside of a player that's like trying to improve right at my own elo and trying to apply the advice that I see out there that you also see out there to improve my own game. I have this spreadsheet that I have like way too many games tracked on. There's a list of things that I have to improve at the game. You know, I was trying to be like, oh yeah, I'll focus on team fighting in this early lane part and whatever, rather than focusing on one specific concept. I want to be able to improve my fundamentals, so I tried to divide them all into like different digestible, measurable places in where I feel like I need to improve and what I don't need to improve. So at the moment, I'm trying to focus more on trading. In particular, I'm trying more to force trades when enemies are going for last hits, right? So they have the incentive where they want to go for the last hit, and what I want to do is to make sure that I'm punishing the last hit with the auto, right? That's kind of the stage that I'm in on something that I feel that if I improve at this, I'm going to become a much better player. Now, for example, for other people, maybe you are like at a different stage where this part for you is very well developed. But for example, maybe crashing the wave before basing is not something you do well. Maybe you crash the wave and you try to push for too many plates, and then your tempo is kind of cooked, you get ganked by the jungler, and then the game becomes very difficult to play, right? So you should like try to grab the piece of information that you feel like you're doing the worst, or you know, you can grab like a death from your last game and look at where you made the mistake and just, you know, work on it until you feel like you're more comfortable. Either way, so for me today, we're going to be focusing on the trading aspect. We're going to focus on the forcing a trade on the enemies as they go for last hit. So that's kind of what we're gonna do here. However, when I'm reviewing, I feel like I shouldn't just look at that one specific thing. So what I'm gonna do is I have like these categories that are all related to trading. Okay, so in game, what I'm thinking is I want to punish last hits as much as possible. But when I'm reviewing and I'm looking at these categories, I'm thinking, did I do that well? Okay, am I positioning well according to my support with that triangle? How am I using my spells? Am I using them in a way that's useful for my lane? Am I just wasting the ability? Did I use my flash correctly? There's a lot of things where we can just kind of like look in review and see what we want to do. And I think you can go more or less in depth as you feel comfortable with the review, right? Like at the end of the day, if you're just focusing on one concept, it's still okay to just focus on that one concept when reviewing. You don't need to review for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes, but we're making a video here. We're just going to focus on that one thing. Maybe it's a little more boring. This way we can cover a few more things and maybe it's a bit more interesting to watch. So that's the idea. With that in mind, let's go for it. So in this game, we're kind of cheesing a Sion and Aphelios. Yeah, I did have the Sion support, happens to the best of us as well, but he did okay, to be honest. And so here you can actually see that there's a few mistakes going on, which is like, I'm afraid of fighting and I'm clicking back. Why don't I just click forward? And if I did do that, I can just match the Mel. And maybe if I... Like, I don't even think I have to burn my flash, but if I had to burn my flash, you definitely kill them all, right? So the situation is also pretty good. I was like, okay, this is good enough. I don't need to end their career, but it's still like a free kill. Why do I walk back, right? So these are things that, you know, we're going to look and it's like, well, okay, this is not related to trading, but it's still valuable information because it completely changes the lane dynamic. Because at the moment, it's a 2v1 where my Sion is mostly going to try to zone the Smolder and I'm AFK. And this is good because I'm looking at this gameplay and I'm like, why am I so AFK? Maybe I should try to zone the Smolder a bit more. Sure, this is good positioning if the enemies are here. The enemy's here and it's 2v1. This is not a lot for him to get to XP range, right? Which is what Sion is doing. So, a few mistakes there. Anyway, I can't really focus on posturing for last hits from Smolder. Okay, I'm trying on this minion here that we can see. He misses it, good. I also miss one, but that's okay. Okay, here we'll level up. We have our ability now. We should try to queue the Smolder here, get the trade going. Nice. Yeah. Since we have the double abilities with the Aphelios guns, we can just use both of them. And we can keep pushing the wave. Here, I think it's like the wave is just so pushed in that it's better to crash it again. And then get it bouncing back to us. It's probably the best way to play this with this wave state. Here, miss Q. Bit poor, right? Sidestep the Mel E somehow. And we just try to keep squeezing in autos on Molder using green gun. Whereas red gun, you try to use it mostly on minions. And that's more Aphelios specific, but I don't want to get into Aphelios specifics. I'm kind of just like having fun playing the champion, exploring it a little bit with what I can improve on. So here we're going to try to look for Smolder going for last hits, and if he does, or like if he tries to Q something, we want to make sure that we try to get some hits on him. Missing another Q. Of course, he's walking this way, so I should try to get my Q in a better direction. All right, so the wave is pretty close to crashing. We should try to get something going here. Oh, we see Wukong, so we play very cautiously. Nice. Make sure we ping him. Actually, here I think I zone myself too much because I'm just too scared of the Wukong. Although my Mordekaiser is showing in mid lane. I'm a bit scared of walking up here. I feel like it kind of sucks because the wave state is pretty poor for us. When I realized that, I walked back up. But I was a bit concerned if Wukong was going for like that wraparound, going through the tri-bush type gank. All right, here we kind of messed up gun rotation on Aphelios as well. We should have red gun being used after. Oh, that's so close. Okay, so at this point we should try to look for more last hits, right? Like punishing more last hits. We have the BF sword, so we'll be doing pretty decent damage at this point. But the Smolder is pretty backed up. The Mel is very far forward, so she's the one where we should try to punish the positioning. But like this Mel's champion range is just so high and it's so difficult to handle. But I think like in this situation it's a bit triangle, right? Like Mel walks up here, we both just walk up on her, right? That's what we should do. We did miss the Sione, but I'm sure there's something like that can be done about Mel. Just mostly I'm focused on the enemy ADC rather than doing damage to the enemy support, but Mel has a lot of free range to work with in this situation. But yeah, like the Mel is poking so much that I have very little HP, and it becomes very hard to punish on last hits. So that's also something that you can see when you're doing that, right? If you are poor conditions, you don't want to open yourself up for a mistake. So here Silas is forced to flash, Wukong flashes, we get the exhaust. Wukong actually lives 1 HP. I'm clearing the wave rather than damaging Smolder, which is probably a bit more correct to damage Smolder instead, but yeah. Just can't punish last hits in these windows. And that will happen sometimes as well. And that's part of... Alright, so here we have like full HP conditions. We should be able to punish more last hits on Smolder. Let's look if we're doing that. We're not, right? So here, the Smolder is walking up to my Scion. I should be in the same line as him, because if I just walk forward here, we have this really nice triangle onto Smolder. Instead, I'm spacing this Smolder and letting him hit my Scion for free, right? So for example, this doesn't directly relate to the trading, but it relates to the triangle. If I'm just walking forward here, the Smolder doesn't get a free trade onto my Scion where he loses this much HP and Smolder is still like full HP, getting 1 extra stack for no reason, right? I shouldn't let him scale like this. It's my mistake. And once we start putting him in lower conditions, then each time he's just going to be progressively in a worse situation that we can put him in. But you can see here that, for example, level 1, I'm way more conscious, and when I want to go for trades on last hits on Smolder. Level 2, level 3, whatever, all that situation. Level 1 was a bit weirder, right, with the Mel situation. But like, I'm not quite being able to follow up on the Smolder and deal the damage that I'd like to do to him, or that I should do. Okay, this is a nice trade, like nice spell usage. Okay, get some poke on him. It's what red gun allows us to do. Lend another one. Like, you can see that these are more like, I crashed the wave, I don't have anything to do, so I'm using my spells, but it's not reactively. I'm not using them to, okay, my Smolder is going for a last hit, therefore I should punish him. That's not what's happening. Also, nice fight here. We have Mordekaiser around. He flashes to get the Scion kill, but we don't let that go unpunished, so yeah. I mean, there's a bit more laning phase going on, but I feel like we covered most of the points in regards to trading, right? Where it's like, I will miss out on a lot of last hits if I don't have good conditions. And then there's a bit more posturing forwards that we should be doing to enable the triangle formation, which would make the enemy conditions a bit lower and play a bit better. So like the most global thing that I'm currently working on would be like spell usage, where I can see how I'm using my flash most particularly, because I'm having this bad habit where I'm holding my flash for too long and I just use flash, die anyway, right? So that's a poor use of flash. You want to flash either as key ability and don't die, right? That's kind of how it goes. Or you can flash in, get the kill, and see if you don't get punished in that 5-minute window afterwards. And we're gonna see what happens. Why do we need to use our flash, right? In this case, I wanted to be cheeky, get a Q1 Smolder. I just positioned very reactively. I missed my Q. But it's totally avoidable, right? That's another thing. You can just like see if it's avoidable or not. We nearly died to Mel here. Most of the damage is from her, but like I didn't respect that Mel was here. You can see it, but I'm thinking, you know, I shouldn't let her be here. I should try to look for an angle on Smolder, but like this Mel damage, Smolder damage, I just flash instantly to make sure I'm not in a poor position. Maybe I don't need to because I have my Mordekaiser around, but you know, we just decided to be safe with the flash. I think it's okay. It could be better used for sure. I think I shouldn't even go there in the first place because I have to collect the wave. I should just position for the wave, not for any kind of proactive play, right? So you can say the flash is okay in the situation I'm in, but I should have had the situation I'm in altogether, right? That would be the conclusion on this flash. We're gonna scroll forward a little bit. We can see another flash, and I can see a death at the same time. So let's see what happens. Malzahar flash ulted me, ulted by Smolder, barriers, flash, and I'm still burning to death. You know, yeah, Malzahar is pretty strong. He also used Ignite. I just got burned to death. It is what it is. Could we avoid the situation, right? Like we can see, was this flash good? No, I die anyway, right? Did we need to be here? No, this is a bad fight, right? Why? Gwen is topside, Silas is topside, Mordekaiser is behind. I shouldn't follow my sign on this play. He's like, oh, I see this Wukong, he's doing his raptors, he's in range, I can do something to him. But it instead just works out to be like a free 4v2 for their team, right? Like, sure, okay, I burned Malzahar's flash and he's strong, but like, it's completely wasted for me to do this. Like, we both don't have to die here. I can just follow up Sion with a bit bigger range and just not fall for this numbers advantage, disadvantage in this case, situation where we got ourselves in. I have flash and I'm gonna die with flash up. So let's see what happens. Flash over the wall, Wukong follows flash. I mean, you know, it is what it is. He still has like a lot of ways to get on top of me. I think here, I think here there's a way where we don't die if we use our red Q here. And or we can even use ult first because it heals us for like 300-ish health. Then use Q and we'd be completely fine actually. We'd also have purple guns so we could root the Wukong in place. I just thought I'd have the damage to kill him. But yeah, you know, mechanics, right? Again, we should look. Can we avoid this situation in the first place? I'm just seeing my Gwen dying. I want to follow up, and then the Wukong just comes from the other side, and it's kind of rough. I think the flash is okay, right? Wukong just flashes again, and then there's like a mechanical outplay that we could go for, but that we didn't. And let's see if there's any more flashes. No more flashes, end of review. Yay, and that's pretty much it, really. That's kind of the goal with these reviews. So, sorry, I was thinking of doing more games, but this looks like a pretty decent review already. So I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your time. If you enjoy this format, you can leave a comment. If you have any opinions on something that I did wrong that you think I could have done better, feel free to let me know. Take care. Have a great one. See you soon. Bye.